Do you have any idea why majority of applicants were turned out during the HR interview round? Every organization conducts an interview to assess the candidates' technical and behavioral ability and to hire the best candidates. The HR interview round is a critical step in this hiring process, which is responsible for deciding whether the candidate is good fit for the company or not. This round will give you an opportunity to learn about the company and the position that you are interviewing for. The interviewer will evaluate your communication, experience, education, and overall skills in this round. So, for basics, dress professionally, arrive on time, be confident and energetic during the interview process. Considering the importance of HR interview round in the hiring process, Simplilearn come up with this amazing video on the HR interview question and answers. This video will cover the most frequently asked HR interview questions in the HR round. Before we move on, please subscribe to our Simplilearn YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to get the updates on the interesting and amazing videos like this. As we were discussed, the HR interview questions can be classified into 4 sections. Traditional HR interview questions, behavioral HR interview questions, opinion-based HR interview questions, brain teaser HR interview questions, and salary-related HR interview questions. Now, let's explore each section one by one. Our first section is traditional HR interview questions. In this section, the questions are most commonly asked in the HR round. And the first question in this section is, tell me about yourself. This is the common question asked at very first of any interview. It sounds easy, but the most important one is the only some candidates can make an impression on the interviewer, as they must know what exactly need to be said. Answer to this question, introduce yourself by including some of the adjectives like problem solving, innovation, creativity, quick learner, etc. Do not include what's there already in the resume because the interviewer wants to know what it had to see in the resume and avoid discussing your personal life. And the second question in this section is, why do you want to work for our company? It is the another famous question asked by the interviewer to ensure that the candidate understands the job necessities and help the interviewer to understand the reason of choosing this company. Answer to this question, start the answer by talking about the past project that you had worked and that matches the needs of the current role. And also have some knowledge of regarding the company's vision, mission and the work it is done in the current years that inspires you to join the organization. And the third question in this section is, why should we hire you? The recruiter asks this critical question to understand how well you would fit this position because every hire is risk to the interviewer in case they turn out to be unfit. Well, you should answer this question by keeping some points in the minds like how well you would be performing the job, how would be you wonderful addition to the team, and how would you maintain a right talent and make you stand out of part. The last and the fourth question in this section is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, this question is the trickiest and the most dangerous one of all. This can prove you trap that you might even ever aware of. By this question, the interviewer is trying to know how long you are planning to remain in the company and how happy you are in the present position that you are hiring for. You may answer this question by saying, I would love to use all the opportunities in the company that provide me to understand by using the external and internal training program. I look forward to develop the various products that lead to the company and the career growth. The second section is the behavioral HR interview questions. The questions in these sections are most common and based on the specific scenario which would help the interview to judge how well you handle the various situations, reflecting your skills, ability and personality, etc. The first question in this section is, tell me how would you handle if the project priorities are suddenly changed. Here, the interviewer wants to know how the candidate will act when the project priorities are changed, and this will also reflect the candidate's capability to manage the pressure and solve problems. You can answer this question by keeping some points in mind, ensuring that you convey the right thing to the interviewer, giving the examples that how you are capable to handle the stress, pressure and avoiding the self-boosting. The next question in this section is, how did you handle the disagreements with your managers? In this question, the recruiter wants to know if you can handle such conflicts and how well you plan to create a relationship between the manager. You can answer this question by giving the examples of the incident that you have encountered. And the third question is, tell me about the time when you displayed the leadership skills. This question is asked to check your competence in a particular situation. You can ensure that you sound active and professional. You can answer this question by giving the examples of an event or a team or any activity conducted by in your leadership. The fourth and the last question in this section is, what was the time when were you happy with your work and what was your reaction? By asking this question, the interviewer wants to understand what success means to you and what feeling brings out to you. By this, you can consider your company's and professional growth career. You can answer this question by sharing your success story in your previous company or any other fields. The next section is opinion based HR interview questions. Normally, these questions are based on the case or scenarios. This is to understand how you think and execute a plan in a given situation. You might get some of the questions like, the first question is, consider a scenario, you win $1 million lottery. Would you still be working? This question is a big trap. If you reply yes to this, you will be considered as a materialistic and money-minded. And you can answer this question by saying, I will be thrilled if I win such a lottery, as I would mean that I would hold a big savings of money for myself and my family future. I'll continue my job because I enjoy my job and I have a passion of learning unique things constantly, and I would even love to examine more fields. My only desire to quit after finishing every fulfillment of career. And the next question in this section is, what would you do if you are working under a bad boss? Here, the interviewer desires to understand how well you the candidates can manage with the people with the different beliefs and principles. Hence, it can get tricky to answer this, but you can start like this. Firstly, before coming into any conclusion that my boss is bad, I'll try my best to understand his nature and get to know about his problems in his. And I'll note all these things and would make him angry and will work with avoiding them. And the third question in this section is, will you lie for a company under any circumstance? To be honest, this question is not generally asked anymore and it is a tricky to answer, but just be prepared for it. The best thing to do here is to be diplomatic. You can answer this question by, I believe in honesty, so my willingness to be a part of lie is depends upon the situation and the consequences. No threat to anyone, I can be a part of it, but I don't feel any good thing about lying. The fourth and the last question in this section are, what would you prefer, being liked or being feared? The answer should be given diplomatically because no interviewer would want the candidate to like or to be feared. So, you can go with honestly, I choose I will be well respected in my organization. Fear does not compare respect. I want to be such a way that my group members are not hesitate to reach out to me in any problem or any situations. The upcoming section is Brain Teaser HR interview questions. This section has a puzzle-like question that challenge the individual's problem-solving skills. Now, let's have a look what are the questions that comes under this section. The first question is, what do you think is better? Being perfect and delivering late or being good or delivering on time? In these types of question, support your answer by the opinion and with a particular example and answer what according to you is right. Here is one of the possible answer. It is always more useful to be good and deliver on time. Time is money for an organization. If you are good on time, then always there is a space for advancement and enhancement. But if you submit late, then there is no amount of perfection and there can be a time lost. The second question in this section is, Judy's mother had 4 children. The eldest one is April, the second one is May, and the third one is June. What's the name of the fourth one? Well, this is a simple question, yet some people require some clarification when they hear it for the first time or possible due to the stress of interview. Think twice before answering and never say no or you don't know. At least try solving it, and the answer for this question is Judy. And the third question in this section is, how many times in a day does the clocks of an overlap? Hearing this question for the first time, you might sound very simple, but it can be also be complex. They would just want to see how well you analyze the problem and what is your thought process to approach that problem. And the answer for this question is twice a day. The fourth and the last question of this section is, you have a 2 vessels, 3 liter and a 5 liter volume, and you are given an unending water supply. How can you get a 4 liter water by using of 2 vessels? Well, Take some time to analyze this question and do not think silently. Let the interviewer know what is your thought process. You can answer this question by first, fill the 3-liter vessel with the water, then move all the water from the 3-liter vessel to into 5-liter vessel. After that, refill the 3-liter vessel and again pour into a 5-liter vessels until it fills. In the 3-liter vessels, now we have 1 liter water available. The empty water on the 5-liter vessel, pour it to a 1 liter water and the 3-liter vessel into a 5-liter vessel. Fill the 3-liter vessel with the water and pour into a 5-liter vessels. We now have a 4-liter water in the 5-liter vessels. Well, at last we have salary related questions. In this section, it contains a basic question that is related to salary. For example, let's see one by one. First we have, what do you expect? This question is asked to determine the interviewer can be afford to hire you based on the funding and the range they wish to offer. Understanding and identifying yourself as a valuable in answering this question is essential, particularly when you have expectations of more than what they hope to provide. The next question in this section is, what is your current salary? This question is asked to confirm that the money to earn in your present position is falls within the budget of the interviewer that you are providing. Well, answering these questions, keep some points in mind. Try to be your best and avoiding exploring your current salary. Only add 35 to 40% of present salary and ask the interviewer what is the range and they are paying for this position. And the third question in this section is, what is your salary expectation? You must respond to this question carefully to avoid getting unfired or the job at the end of the day. Research on the pay range of the company providing for this position. Try to get the range of the interviewer and see if you're okay with it. Refrain from the short range and please describe why you deserve it. And the fourth and the last question in this section is, how much should we pay by looking at your qualifications? By asking this query, the interviewer checks if the candidates know the self-worth and indirectly want to understand what money they expect. To answer this question, research the current demand trend for your skills and abilities. Let the interviewer know what you want to get a great skill by spelling yourself. And do not underdetermine or downpay your skills to satisfy the recruiters. To get more clear and understanding of HR interview questions, please try to share some of the answers and responses to the following questions in the comment section. So guys, those are some questions of HR interview round. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please do share this video with your family and friends. And more such videos, please visit our Simplilearn YouTube channel. For any queries regarding this topic, mention it in the comment box. Thank you, stay safe, keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.